Okay, hello. So today we are going to do a kneeling pose, and this is called Anahata, and I love this. I love this pose, and it is on the knees. And so if you have any knee issues, you can double your mat over at the back so it's softer under the knees. You can even get a towel, fold it over so it's much softer over the knees. And of course, if you've had surgery, do your exercises first, because you've got an option with this one to extend the arms out and the chest will come down, so the arms will actually come back, if you can see what I'm doing there. Now if that is not good for you here, if you're still stiff there, you can do that with the arms. You can make a pillow with the forearms and you can rest your head onto it. You can even get a cushion, which I'm sitting on at the moment. So decide what you want to do with this. I did, during my time when I couldn't lift this arm up, I did one arm and just let the other one rest on the side. But if you want to feel even, then you can do either ones. Okay, so you're going to come on to your mat. Let's take my socks off. Oh, actually, it doesn't matter, does it? So I want you to bring yourself so your hips are directly going a little bit further back. So walk your toes towards the back of your mat. So my toes are flat, they're like that, they're flat to the floor. My knees are directly underneath my hips. I'm going to bring my hands down. So the first thing I'm going to do is drop my waist down. Make sure you've done some of the warm-ups first. So you've done a few cat-cows. So you've made sure that you have done cat-cows, whether you've done them in the sitting cat-cow or the kneeling cat-cow, it doesn't really matter. So just make sure that you've warmed back up a little bit. So from here, without letting your bum move forwards, what you're going to do is start to walk the hands forwards, but don't let the bum move, keep the bum as it is. So you're going to start to extend that. Now you may find, oh my God, I can't go any further, in which case you may just want to come here and you're just going to rest your forehead onto your forearms. So that's still a backward bend, but it's only a gentle backward bend. Of course, you can bring the cushion. If you need to be a little bit higher, you can bring the cushion. You can bring the cushion there. Rest the forehead. Hips are still over the knees. So this is an easy one. Anahata means melting heart. So you literally want your heart to melt down. Now, like I say, if you know that you can take this further, what you're actually going to do is walk the arms right the way out, so the heart begins to melt down towards the earth. Now I'm resting my forehead here, not good because I've not got much space the way I've placed my mat, but your fingers will be spread out and you can walk your hands towards the side of the mat. Now I can really feel that now starting to open into my chest. So just take this 10 gentle and slow breaths. Remember, Anahata, you are melting the heart. You can treat this as a neck stretch as well and bring the chin down, which will sink the chest a little bit deeper. So just be aware of what feels right. Again, if it's too much, bend the elbows so the forearms are on the floor, and you can either rest the forehead on the floor or you can even rest the forehead onto forearms. So that is a little bit easier, but it's still a really deep one coming into the armpits. So remember, any lymph node removal, armpits gentle. So 10 breaths with that. And then when you are coming out of this, you want to gently start to walk the elbows back towards your hips. So you can sink the hips back down onto the heels. You can rest in just in a gentle child's pose. Of course, child's pose, you can bring the hands down the sides. Not one I like, unless I put my head on a cushion. I personally prefer to make fists with my hands and rest my head. And then, of course, just to ease out the back, come up into a cat, just to stretch that out. So Anahata, melting heart. And at some point I'll tell you a little bit about one of the things I do when I'm doing melting heart. And it's to do with one of our hormones. oxytocin, and oxytocin is known as the cuddle chemical. And basically, your brain will release this hormone, oxytocin, when you think of people that you love, close family, friends, children, parents. And when you are in Anahata, as you melt the heart down to the earth, I quite often think of the people that I love the most, and your heart will actually release that chemical oxytocin. And oxytocin is fantastic for the health of the heart. And if you want to know a little bit more about that, I suggest you Google a guy called David Hamilton. He's brilliant. I've met him before, and he has been, he does this course, and the one I went to a workshop with him for how the mind can heal the body, and it's a book that I'll do a recommendation for when I find it. I've lent it to somebody, I don't know where it is. So anyway, you can search for him on YouTube, Dr. David Hamilton. He's Scottish, he's got white hair, so you will recognise him. Bye bye guys.